Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I'm your humble host, Mr. David Knoll, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I continue to pray each and every day, each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, and the wisdom from the universe. And thank you all for being here, and blessings to you, and cosmic hugs, and hopes that you are doing as well as you can under your circumstances. And Elder Barry, hi, Delaney Pearl, how are you? Um, it's been a few days since I did a video, and sort of a little catch up is that, um, and Duggar's moving around here. He's heard his name. Amanda, how are you? Um, it's rainy and cold outside, which, hey, it's the 1st of March, well, 2nd. But I've been doing some work the last few days, and I got some really good work done here at the house. My two of my friends who happen to be women came by, and well, they didn't come by; they came here on purpose and helped me do some cleaning and get some stuff straightened out and hauled away some things to go to Goodwill. And it was a good day. Worked my ass off. Took me a couple of days to recover, but in that they brought me some more cement so I could work on my porch. And so I've been working on the porch outside and poured 3 more 100 pounds of concrete. So, but anyway, but with that said, and looking at things and doing my job as a watchman and keeping an eye on things and wondering what in the dickens is, going on. So today in my musings and meditations and things, they my higher whatevers. I love you all, I do. I still don't know what to call them, and I never ask for a name. But with all the changes that are going on, it seems like that there is very little wisdom being used with these changes. And so the word wisdom has come up in many things here in my readings and musings. And, of course, change is all around us. And oh my God, some of the changes that are going on. And you have to stop and say, well, wait a minute. Where is the wisdom in this? I mean, it's one thing for if I decide to cut my hair, okay? It's another thing for me to decide to go outside and dig a big hole in the yard or something. I mean, so personal changes is one thing, but when things affect the planet and other people and societies and things, we have to stop and say, hang on a minute. Where is the wisdom, if there is any, in some of the changes that are being made? We have to scratch our heads and go, I don't know. I think maybe the wisdom has gone out the door. Now, one of the things that we have to consider is that sometimes wisdom is a curse. Now, what I mean by that is, and it's a double-edged sword. In other words, I can use the wisdom from what I know from living here on my property for 40 years and say, well, I shouldn't dig a hole there in my yard because I'm going to trip over it. Well, an animal could get hurt if somebody drives up, they could, fall in the hole. So, and what's the purpose of the hole? Well, I can. So there are people who want to make changes because they say they can. But, the wisdom of such things, we have to scratch our head and go, yeah, but is it wise to do this? Not that we shouldn't change, but where's the wisdom in some of these changes? Now, for example, and I know I probably pissed some folks off, but we have to be real about this. And they're coming up with 51 different flavors of some type of sexual identification. Okay, don't even want to start. But if it could be very simple in that you have male or female or male, don't care which one you put first, and a checkbox. Yes, female, yes, male, and then other. And if you're something other than those two, then write it. Um, but I still want to be called grandpa. I still wish to be called uncle. Um, I still wish to be called pops, you know. But those are like all male things. Well, I'm going to check the box of male, female, other as male. I'm not a female. So where are my rights? You know, I wish to be strong and say I'm a heterosexual male. I always have been. Although early on in life there was some weirdness going on that I couldn't explain, but I made up my mind and my decision has been to be a heterosexual male. So here I am at 68 and a half years of age, and I'm looking at the world and going, where is the wisdom that's supposed to be out there for people to rely upon for their future changes? So right now, people are looking around going, I don't know if I like this stuff or not. And we should stand up. And if we don't like it, we should say, no, I do not consent. I'm sorry, but I still wish to be considered male, a grandpa, a dad, a pops, a great grandpa. And yes, I have great grandchildren. So, which I have never seen. But to the point though, where are my rights in this? I have to change without any wisdom on my part going, you want me to change how I speak to everybody else, but what about me? What about my needs? What about our needs? Do you want to be called, do you want to call it breastfeeding or now it's not mother's milk, it's chest milk. It's chest feeding. We can't, okay. I'm not going to go off on a tirade because I think you all know what I'm talking about. But with these changes, we have to stop and go, so where's the wisdom? All right, now there are a lot of changes. That's just one particular one that's like hammering me and all the things that go along with it. So we have to say, but there are other people out there. Okay, so then that's the third box on the checklist. Male, female, other, or female, male, other. Don't care. Let's put the ladies first, well, but I'm a lesbian, cross-dresser, transgender person. Okay, fine. Then write it in the space beside it. And I will recognize who you wish to be. You're the other category. I don't have a problem with that. But to have 50 different names and to change all of society when for the last 3,000 plus years, I'm just using that as a reference, everything's been okay. We haven't had to have necessarily another category, although there has been an other category for a long time. So, but to try to have a list of 50 different things, my question is, where is the wisdom of these changes? Somebody might say, well, it's long overdue. 3,000 years, and all of a sudden, right now, we have to do it this way. And whether you like it or not, this is the way it's going to be. I mean, there's that thing in Congress right now, and he should be screaming, that a minor can make a decision as to what sex they want to be. When at the age of 18 of minimum, you can't drink, drive, or shoot a gun, but we're going to let someone who's not even of legal age to vote or do these other things make decisions regarding their long-term sexuality because they can. But I have to say, but where is the wisdom in this? Is my point. So, but yeah, we should make these changes. Should we? Where's the wisdom in this? Now, to that same point, we can be overwise and overcautious. And so, but in the last 15, 20 years, when I was growing up as, in high school and so forth, to say you were gay um, meant that you were happy. Okay. You were homosexual. You weren't, it wasn't gay. Now there was the undertone, but here's the thing. It wasn't made an issue. There were the two ladies who were like sisters who lived in a house down the street in the neighborhood. Nobody cared. Oh, but we found out later on that they were lesbians. So it didn't bother any of us in the neighborhood. They were two ladies who lived together, period. That's what it meant. So, but it was society. Duggar, there ain't nobody out there. It's just a lot of noise on the road today. And there's some thunder in the background too. Um, Good old Duggar. Yep. But again, I say, where is the wisdom with some of these changes? Well, we're gonna, I did a video a week or so ago about, the wind thing, right? And the solar. So Texas got crapped on with the snow, and all that solar, and all that wind energy was literally, got thrown to the wind and was useless. So we say, but we're going to convert everything we have to that because we want to be green. Well, has anybody thought about how dirty it is to make those kinds of things? Just saying. Where does silicone come from, and where did all these other things? And it takes extrusion, and with extrusion comes oil products to keep things, the machinery, oiled and lubricated, and we won't go there. But is the decision to change everything the wise decision? Is my point. Do I think we should have solar energy? Yes. Do I think we should change everything? No, because the wisdom says you're going to get crapped on, okay? And you don't know ever, never, ever, never do you know, except by watching the radar if something's coming. Hey, Robert V. and Ian and Doug and Mossy Man and Delaney, of course, and Michelle. And hi, everybody. But so my point is not to rag against all of the changes, because change is inevitable. I'm looking out the window, and 2 days ago, you couldn't see a leaf anywhere. Now there are leaves popping out on all the trees, on the fruit trees, and, there are buds everywhere. So, spring isn't officially here until the 15th of March for our zone. Okay. But spring is obviously here, and, ain't no stopping it now. Might slow it down with a cold front or something, but ain't going to stop it. So in my thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be cutting grass soon. Well, there goes some more of my time. Not an issue, but so I'm going to stop cutting as much firewood, or altogether possibly, because if it gets warm, what do I need firewood for? But then I'm going to start cutting grass, so it's one chore or the other. It's inevitable. Okay. So I can bitch and complain and jump down, but where's the wisdom in that? The wisdom is in how I cut my grass, how I cut. So that's what I have learned over my years in what needs to be done. Okay. Just to kind of sort of put things in a little bit of perspective. So because of where I live and how long I've lived here, I've learned through the wisdom that you don't do certain things to the property. It might not rain very much over a course of years. We had several years of drought here and didn't have to worry about flooding. Now it's raining all the time. I'm not complaining, but we've got more rain than we've had, in several years, just here in these last couple of months. It's wonderful to have water here again. But at the same time, with wisdom, I haven't planted too many things in my garden because it's like squishy deep, for one thing. The other things that the potatoes I wanted to plant would have rotted in the ground. So I missed my planting of potatoes because there's too much rain. So it doesn't mean I'm not going to plant any taters. It just means I couldn't plant them when I wanted to. And if I had planted them when I wanted to, they'd have been so soggy that they would have rotted in the ground. So there's wisdom in sometimes, hedging your bet a little bit, and where February, middle of February is the time to really plant taters around here. But doesn't mean you can't plant them later on, and as wet as the ground is. So you have to use practicality and my wisdom of that if I plant them taters now, they're going to rot. And then I'm just going to have to plant them over again, which is double. So why not use my wisdom and say, I was just getting ready to plant them. And now we've had like 2.5 inches of rain here in the last 24 hours. But anyway, so with this wisdom, I can say, let me wait a little bit. But there are folks out there who are, quote, trying to use their wisdom for the voices of change for our future now. And it's like, what the hell are you people talking about? Why do we need these changes? Why do, for example, the discussion, I'm just saying, the discussion has been about men becoming athletes on the women's teams because that's what they choose. Nothing has been said about women choosing to be men and going into the men's locker room. I'm just saying. Does it make it right either way? Why don't we just have co-educational? Don't care what sex you claim to be. It's just open, you know? Now we should have private stalls for people who aren't, who are shy and that kind of thing. I went through a shy period in my younger life and then I became a nudist, went the other way. But I understand that, being around other people who are naked is one thing, but being naked with people who don't want to be, that's totally different. Anyway, but the idea, though, that I should have opened a nudist camp. Never mind. I'm sort of kidding. But the idea that I would wish my changes to be considered across the United States. I want 350 million people to go along with my idea. No, 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 no. But wait, I think we should all become nudist. But okay, I'm not saying that that's what I want, but it might get rid of a bunch of hangups for people, though. Just saying, people who go to nudist camps don't have many hangups. And it isn't about sexuality. No. It's about being primitive, I think, is what it is. But anyway, the idea, though, that I would want to say, well, I think everyone in America should, belong to a nudist colony. Well, but isn't that the same thing as these people with their wisdom saying that we should have 51 different flavors of sex category other than the two that are predominant, So where's the wisdom? So I'm going to quit yapping about this and let's talk about the wisdom of these changes. What is their theoretical thought behind these changes? When for 3,000 years, women, men, other has been perfectly okay. When the other category has always been the minority of the population. Now, there are those people who say, oh, yeah, but we need a voice. Okay, we quit beating you and hanging you and shooting you. And, it's gotten a lot better. I mean, back when I was a kid, if you said you were gay, somebody was going to beat the crap out of you at some point in time. You were going to get rolled, as they said back in the day. Let's go roll a fag was the fun thing to do. And so it's like, there are still those people out there, but and not like it used to be. Okay. So in the last 40 50 years, society has come a long way with the acceptance of. Now, I can see the wisdom in that. These folks are different. It's okay that they're different. But to make everything different and eliminate male and female categories for whatever reason is just effing dumb. There's no wisdom in it at all. There is no forethought to what the future of this might be. So now that's just one topic, but look around, read the headlines and choose a topic of change. And some of these folks, you got to say and ask the question, where is the wisdom in what they're doing? Not whether or not they're right or not, or whether or not we should change. There are some things I agree should be changed, and that, but do we have to have 51 different designations? Do we have to pass a law that says a 4-year-old can make their decision for the rest of their life as to what sex they want to be? Can we use a little bit of wisdom and say no? Okay. There's wisdom in that. Okay. So we have to use our wisdom of the last 4,000 years of mankind and go, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Okay. Maybe, well, but we've done this for 4,000 years. It's time to change. That's the theory. Because we have been used our wisdom for so long that wisdom has gotten in the way, that the wisdom of why should we change this crap, the wisdom of that is that because we should. It's 4,000 years on this planet, and women, and then the other category. No. It's time for the other category, and there are no men or women anymore. But they're in their own new category. Why do I need a new category? I'm still a male. I'm still heterosexual. I'm still, what? But that's my internal wisdom saying, nah, this is who I am. Why should I change? Why should I change my designation? Well, I'm no longer a male. Wanna bet? If I was to strip down in public and show my tiny little wee-wee to somebody, they go, look, that man. First thing they'd say, that man is naked. They wouldn't say, well, there's an other that's naked. You hear what I'm saying? So they'd say, oh my God, there's a naked man, right? They wouldn't say naked other. There's a naked, is it a person? There's this old man with long hair and a beard and he's naked. Okay, but wait a minute, you said man. Can they say old? Well, aged. Well, but is that discriminatory? You see how silly this sounds. Now, I know you all understand this. And no, I would use my wisdom and not go strip in public. But the idea, though, that what would be the reaction of most of the people? There is a man. That would be the first thing that would come to their brain. There's a man. Okay. If a woman took off her thing, there's a woman that took her, she's showing her breast. Okay. They wouldn't say there's some other, there's a naked person. Well, is she male or female? We can't say that no more. So again, where's the wisdom in this thinking? Where is the wisdom in some of these other changes that are being made? And I'm saying there are people who think that wisdom and our collective energies of how we've been doing things over the years. Should we continue to just willy-nilly use oil products? No, because I think there are other ways. But can we get rid of oil altogether? No, because most people don't understand that we get plastic from oil products. So you want to get rid of the plastics industry. So how are you going to make some of these wind generators and things when some of these things have Delron and other kinds of, but they're derived from off products of petroleum. Oh, wait a minute. So but we're going to get rid of it all. We can't. All right, we can't. But we're going to create other chemicals and things. So where are you going to get those other chemicals from? It's through these processes that we get some of these chemicals and off products and things. So people who know that there's more to this process than just the oil and cars or vehicles, would understand it. Hang on, folks. We shouldn't get rid of it, but we should definitely become more aware. I've talked about back in 2003 or four, the Ford of Europe came out with an Opel Cadet that would drive 150 miles an hour and get 90 miles to the gallon with a diesel engine. Why? Because they don't have the same idle instructions. In other words, they don't use catalytic converters and things the same way we do here, which restricts the flow. If we all took our catalytic converters off of our vehicles, we'd get 10 more miles per gallon, period. But because we sit in traffic and the emissions are gauged at sitting still, not at highway speeds, that's why California has such strict laws on it. But what is the first thing they do with a sports car? They take the muffler off. Why? Because it creates a back pressure. When I was racing back in the early 70s, little sports cars, I had an Austin Healey, blah, blah. Anyway, the first thing you did was you took the muffler off and you ran a straight pipe. It was loud, it was noisy, but you could, oh boy, the extra energy and force that you got from the engine by taking the muffler off. Now, before I drove it home, I had to put the muffler back on, but that wasn't the point. So there are a lot of things in engineering that we can do that wouldn't eliminate gasoline or the oil products or diesel, but they would be much more efficient. And at the same time, we develop these other programs. There's wisdom in that, okay? Because of how much oil is used in lubricating the machines that make the stuff that you want to make green. The CNC machines, all the equipment, all requires oil at some form or another to run the machine so they don't overheat, they don't seize up. Anyway, so how do we look at the future? We should look at our future and try to say, wait a minute, ask this question seriously. Where is the wisdom in this change? That's all. If you want to have an argument with someone, you simply ask them, or you don't tell them that they're wrong, but you say, where's the wisdom in all these changes? Where is the wisdom in allowing a 4-year-old to choose their sex? Where's the wisdom in allowing, where is the wisdom in this? We as a human race should say, hang on, wait a minute. There are a few people with this cranky idea that are obviously not using wisdom, because in their point of view and in their wisdom, we have to understand our point of view versus theirs. In their wisdom, they think this is a good thing. And practically speaking, we have to ask ourselves, really? So this wasn't meant to be a long video this afternoon. I just wanted to get on here and say hi to everybody. And we have to have ammunition to work against these folks. So we know they're stupid because wisdom versus stupidity, changes versus stupidity. Okay. So change is inevitable and we should accept it. Whether it's the earth changes, whether, like I said, spring's popping out all over here. In another 3 or 4 days, there's going to be leaves on all these trees. It ain't going to look the same, which is fine with me. But to the point, though, I think it's slightly early time of year, but okay, Earth knows when. I scratch my head sometimes and go, wow, these plants are blooming a little early, but okay. And sometimes that means we have a cold snap and we don't get any plums or berries or blackberries or anything like that. But which has been the case on my place for quite a few years now. There's very literally slim pickings when it comes to plums or pears or anything like that. So it's been really dry in the fruit department, and I got all different kinds of fruit here. Although the muscadines were really good this last year, got to say, cheers for that one. But anyway, Delaney says, why the F is a 4-year-old worried about their sexuality any dang ways? I absolutely agree, because the parents, well, little Jimmy likes to dress up in girls' clothes. Well, because he sees another person, a girl, maybe dressed in a skirt, and going, I wonder what that feels like. When we were kids and playing, it was, one thing to like put on, mama, grandma's shoes, and walk around. And, it doesn't mean that I wanted, that I was gay. It didn't mean that I wanted to be a girl, but it was fun to play dress up. And as an actor, I get that. Okay. So it's fun to play dress up, but it doesn't mean that that's what you're going to be the rest of your life. Now you may be a cross dresser, and so if you like to wear women's hose and it makes you feel sexy or whatever, go for it. But do we have to have a box for that to check off? You know what I mean? So the next thing they're going to be renaming our body parts, okay? Because now it's no longer breastfeeding, it's chest feeding. So they're probably going to start saying, well, you can't say the word boob anymore. And, tits is going to be right out of there. But, cows have teats, and all other mammals, women mammals have teats, it's like, but yeah, well, wait. Well, they're not women anymore. They're, I can't even, how do I explain this? So, but those aren't boobs anymore. They're not breasts anymore. We're going to call them something else. Tatas, Wait a minute, they're going to throw that word away. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. But isn't it time that we get a little sarcastic back at them, going, are you nuts? You folks are nuts. Well, but they keep pushing it. Then we need to keep pushing and go, no, 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 no. We do not consent. You people in your minds think this is wisdom speaking, and I'm all for change if it's wise. Okay. Is it wise to make this decision? Well, I don't know. Let's cogitate. Now, some things, as these people will talk about, because during the Obama administration, for example, they passed this legislation, right? The LGBT, anyway, it's not against it, but that night they had already red, white, blue, green, purple, rainbow colors on the White House. This stuff was pre-planned. They didn't just go out there and change a few light bulbs, okay? They knew ahead of time this thing was going to pass and it was going to be all this, because that's been their agenda. I don't care. If you're in the other category, I'm proud for you. I seriously am. But don't try to put me in another category when I'm quite fond of being a male heterosexual, okay? Not necessarily at my age, because prostate's a bitch when you get older. But the idea, though, that you want me to change my designation, I ask the question, where's the wisdom in this? Why? What's it going to achieve? So allowing all these things to happen, we know what they wish to achieve. But if from a humanitarian standpoint of 3, 4, 5, 10,000 years of quote Homo sapien walking on 2 feet thingy, no, we didn't come from apes. Yes, we have come from the stars, but no, we're not from apes. But this idea that though somehow all of these changes are using the wisdom of our elders, the wisdom of just folks my age, and looking back and going, this is a bad idea. This is not good. This is a bad, where is the wisdom in these changes? So, this discussion here is an attempt, and I was going to use the word stab, and that's to take a stab at this, man, but that's sort of, uh, um, take a crack at it. Wait, I don't know, that might be offensive. I have a butt crack. So if I crack a joke, am I talking about my butt? Oh my God, the things they want to change. And just saying. So, you know, they're going to rename our body parts. They're going to, oh, my brain is going crazy right now. So, um, smoke if you got them. My intention of doing it 3 something was to have a bowl at 3:20. Oh my God, it's empty. Um, I must have already smoked and didn't know it. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here and say that I love you all. Hey, Ed, Doug, how are you? Ian, Amanda. I read an article where they talked about people with a uterus instead of a woman, but that might not last because I have found another one about artificial uterus for transgender. Doug, I love it. I'm offended by your offense of me being offended. And I'm offended because you brought up the offense. I'm kidding, but you know what I mean. It's also no longer called mother's milk. It's human milk now here in the UK. Okay, that's what it is, Ian. And it's not breastfeeding, it's chest feeding, right, Ed? That's what I heard from the UK. Anyway, so from my limited, UK sources, but that's where I got this thing about chest feeding. What the hell? Yeah, it's never ending, but we should stop it. We need to do. I'm sorry, they're going to put me in jail because I don't want to call someone with really nice breasts a woman. Now I've met some men with some really nice breasts. I just got to say, but they were very womanly, you know. Just saying. But and here's the thing. Interestingly enough, within the social circles of theater, there is a gay community. Most folks will go, well, yeah, obviously, which goes into the theater and movies. Okay, but with that though, and I have met quite a few cross dressers, transgender folk um, through the theater, and men who love to dress in drag, and they want to be called a lady. All right, so they want to look at their feminine wiles. So you got moobs. I love it. That's a good one, Doug. I love it. Moobs, man boobs, right? Moobs. I love it. So we should just come up with new names for things. You know what I mean? Hi, Elderberry. How y'all are? But so, but in this discussion, the whole part, if you was to ask, what's the black gentleman's name that does the drag on TV and all that, you know who I'm talking about. So he doesn't want to look like a lady. He wants to look like something else. Give me a break. What do you think he does the hair and the big wigs and the dress? He doesn't want to look like an other. He's trying to look like a woman. He wants to look like a lady. The wiles and the mannerisms. What? So now you're going to tell the gay community that they can't look like ladies anymore. Do you understand how far this can go? So even the people who are trying to pass a better judgment on this, and that I'm all for it as long as you all ain't trying to, quote, influence my kids, grandkids, or somebody else's, you can be who you want to be. I don't care. I really don't. But when your lifestyle is being forced upon me, I got to raise my hand and go, hang on. Where is your respect for me and my gender that I choose? Okay. I'm choosing, have chosen to be male, heterosexual. So where are my rights now in this mess? Well, obviously, I don't have any because I have to accept this new line of thinking. Again, I say, where's the wisdom in this? Now, if I was to, and I've studied the Bible, I've read the Bible lots and lots over my many years, right? I'm thinking, though, that there are certain powers in getting rid of the church, but let's talk about this. some of this homosexuality and so forth and pedophilia and so forth started in the church, was encouraged by certain church folks. All right. But they didn't throw the priest who were, caught, diddling with children. They didn't throw them out of the priesthood. No, they moved them to another parish. Okay. So it has been known for a long time. So, but now they wish us, it's almost like they want the world to become Sodom and Gomorrah. What? Think about it. What would their agenda be in this? To turn the world into Sodom and Gomorrah. To like, this is the final offense to the Creator. And not only that, but Mother Earth, to Gaia, to the goddess, to females in the universe who are going, you want to do what? I think Mother Earth should be, wait, can't call her mother anymore. What are we going to call it? Oh, well, anything that results in, do you hear what I'm saying? So what should we do? We should use our wisdom and speak up, because if we allow this to continue, and if we allow this to happen, I don't know, it would be better, in my humble opinion, that we go back to the fucking Stone Age. If this happens, if this is the future for us, then I think somebody ought to bomb planet Earth and put us out of our misery and let us start the fuck over. Yes, I used the F word twice because I think it's that important. If we don't stand up as human beings and go, no, 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 no. The Bible says Sodom and Gomorrah, and you're making the UK, the whole country, to be Sodom and Gomorrah. These people want to make the states and want to make the United States Sodom and Gomorrah, because anything goes, anything can be, and let's dream up another name. Oh, do we really want to go there? Honestly. So I could see where some of the ETs are going, hey, we screwed up. The only way to stop this is to kill them all and start over. Think about it. The infestation has gotten so bad with the human culture that they have come up with 51 new designations of what they can be when they're human. They're human. They're a human construct, one way or the other, whether we're hybrids of Palladians or Orions or, we come from the dog star, it doesn't matter. It's that on this planet, we're supposed to be human. And so what does human nature say? What does the wisdom of human nature has said for a long time? Now, Native Americans knew that there were those folks within the community that were gay. And they allowed them their own little place. That's the guy over there, and, he is what he is, but that's the guy over there, or girl, but he's the other. And they respected them for being the other, even though they was like, well, we don't necessarily want you to sleep in our tent or our teepee, but we'll give you yours down there at the end of the road. But you're still part of our group. You're still part of the tribe, as long as you behave like other people, regardless of, quote, the other category. So if your behavior socially is acceptable with everyone else, no one gives a damn about what you do in your off time, so to speak. So, but where is the respect in that? Where is the wisdom in that? And I'm saying these people don't have it, except in their perspective minds. They think their wisdom is just for all of humanity, for you and me and our family members and all that. I got two one's bisexual and the other one's a lesbian. So, don't talk to me about that. I'm not acceptable in this. I have family members. But my point to this is I accept them. But when they become dickheads and, all men are evil and all men are this, then I got to stop and say, hang on. It isn't about what you do or who you profess to be as a lesbian. But when you pick on mankind, all men are evil. If it wasn't for a man, you wouldn't be there. Just saying. So, and if it weren't for your mama, who's, no wonder she's like gone off an edge over here some at times. When she's like, how did I raise these children to be so like this? It was their decision, has been their decision. But if some folks that I know, I'm going to say my granddaughter, that all men should be turned into Twinkies, okay? And that maybe only their sperm should be collected for insemination. But this idea that men, or no, because women are just as good, women are better than men. Okie dokie. I'm all for, level the playing field. And I think it's horrid, I really do, that men that in a position will make more money than a woman in the same position in corporate society. It's a sham. So sexism still exists. And so to those folks who want to change the world, if you think you're going to keep some guy like Cuomo from making sexist pass at women, forget about it. If you think this is going to stop rape, or you're going to stop incest, or you're going to stop this stuff, no, it's up here in somebody's head. The more you confuse them, the easier it's going to be for people to, quote, breach the rules of human society. That no, we shouldn't take little girls or little boys and have sex with them. No, don't care who you are. No, when they get 18, if they want to do it, fine. Well, now they want to change the age of consent for little boys. Why should you change that at all? Consent for little boys to go, become part of MAMBLA? Men who love. Oh my God. So I think there are folks who are trying to change the planet into Sodom and Gomorrah. Is it to look forward to our total and utter destruction in the future? We as a society should be showing ET, hey, look, we're tolerant, but we're not crazy. We're not stupid. All right. If you want to be androgynous, it's okay. We accept you. We accept you for the person, the person or the energy or the spirit that you are. But I'm not going to accept you because you tell me to. Well, you're going to accept me whether you like it or not. I'm going to say, fuck off. Let me get to know you. Show me who you are, that I can honor you, that I can respect you. We can have totally different opinions. That's okay. But let me get to know you. But if you're just going to come up and wag your finger in my face and say, you will accept me regardless, I'm going to say, fuck off. That's the answer. Because it's not respectful to me. I don't walk up to people and say, you're going to respect me for who I am. No, you have to earn the respect. So these people have taken respect to a stupid level. In their wisdom, oh, we should allow these little children to make up their minds on their own. At 3 or 4 or 5 years old, let them make a sex change. So having the freedom should be given, not when they're a child. Let them grow up a little bit. If they still have the tendency in 10 years, well, okay. But then they will be more easily to make their own decision, a wise decision, versus making a change that when they turn 16 and their hormones go nuts, if they have any left, they go, oh, son of a bitch, I made a mistake. I really want to be this. Too late. You made your decision. And then the answer, the question goes, why did you allow me to do this? You're my parents. You should have warned me as a child not to do this. Oh, go ahead. Stick your finger in the electrical outlet. You'll get shocked. Go ahead. You're 4 years old. Have a smoke, kid. Here, let me light one up for you. So it's like, well, well, you're 5 years old. Can you see over the wheel? We're going to let you drive the family car. Oh, but no, okay, you're 5 years old. Hey, go light the barbecue for me, kid. Here's a lighter and here's a can of petroleum products to help the fire burn. No, don't play with matches. No, here's a whole book and a can of lighter fluid. Are we really using wisdom? See how ironic this is? But in their thinking, their wisdom says we need to make these changes to include everyone. Everyone's already included. Just put that box female, male, other. And in that little box of other, they write in who they are. Don't care. Come up with 150 names. Don't care. They're in the other box because they are not proclaimed as the two main genders of people on this planet. You can't change what the planet created, what creator. So they want to undo what God's work has been. They want to undo feminism. Like there are women complaining, going, wait a minute, I like wearing dresses. I like for men to look at me. I like to be appreciated as a woman. Wait, whoa, can't have that. What are you talking about? Now I could talk about manly stuff, but there are women who are pissed off at this. And women, I say to you, stand up and tell them, no, I don't want to be included in another category. I've had children. I'm proud to be a mother. I am proud that I have boobs. I am proud that I breastfed my children. Versus to be politically correct, which obviously, if we look at our wisdom of the ancestors, this is not wisdom. These are changes that are flat out stupid. So I'm all for changing. Spring's here, have to accept it. But do I have to accept 51 new gender varieties and to get picked on if I use the wrong word? Oh, hell no. I'm going to use my right as a cranky old man. I said man. I'm going to use my voice as a cranky old man because I deserved it. I made it past 65. I'm going to be 69 in September. I can be a cranky old snothead if I want to be. So with that said, I love you all. I do. And it's not against you. It's about the non-wisdom of these people who wish to make these changes. Hi, Ed. The Roman Empire never went away, just underground for a while. Yep. Yeah, Doug, my kids started driving at 12, not on public roads, but they still drove. Look, I grew up on a carnival with a carnival family. Not that my family was, we became. The Germans went underground too. That's right, Project. But the idea, though, that at the age of 13, 14 years old, I could back up a semi trailer and pinpoint it because when you back those trailers up to the carny rides, you wanted to get them centered. If off a little bit, it was really hard to tear the rides down and to load them. See, so by the age of 15, I could drive a semi. You know, around the lot. I couldn't drive it out on the highway. But when I was 17 and a half, they were short of a driver, and I drove the kiddie ride van, which went like 50 miles an hour going downhill with a 70-mile-an-hour wind. From Alabama all the way back down to winter quarters in Brooksville, Florida, just north of Tampa. And so, down the 2-lane Highway 19, which back in the days was horrible. But it's what you grow up in. I mean, the kids that I knew back in the day that, there were a lot of circus families around in North Tampa back in then. Actually, they were just outside the city limits back then. But to the point, they did trapeze work. They did tumbling. They did juggling. There were clowns, that went every year with Ringling Brothers Some of them went across America. Some folks would take the Ringling Brothers Circus tour in Europe. And so every year you had the choice. You could sign up for one or the other, or the Canadian one. They had different routes for the Ringling Brothers Circus. But so, and with Ringling Brothers, kind of sort of down in Sarasota and the Ringling Museum, if you ever get a chance to go, oh my God, drop in, see the paintings and stuff and the architecture, unbelievable. But anyway, but this idea that every single one of us should change because they think it's wise to do so. And whether or not you like agree or disagree, well, you can be okay, but we have to ask the question for future, we're going to even be able to say generations of peoples. What are we thinking for the future? Is anybody really thinking, or are they just going, ha 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 ha, we can change this now? But I would say that there are people who don't want to who do not wish to live in Sodom and Gomorrah. Whether they're Christian or not, they don't want it. So, but this is where they're putting our society. And I'm not much of a Bible quoter, but I'm telling you, this is what it seems. Wisdom tells me from my 68 and a half years of observation, along with all of the elders past, that I think this is a bad idea. Wisdom says, we're going down a road here. Are you sure this is what you want your tribe to be in the future? Are you sure? And we, as the soul tribe, as a part of this planetary community, we need to say, no, thank you, please, no. And it's not for the few that need recognized, it's for the rest of us. And it's not because I'm white and I have privilege. No, I'm Cherokee more than I am white. So stop this with the white crap. Stop this with being privileged. I'm an old man that lives down here. I've been cheated by the government and cheated by society all my life, been stuck in prison because I had a little marijuana growing here on my house, was picked up and searched, and my whole life turned upside down because but now, pot's become illegal and people can grow it in other states. So where was my crime that kept me from being anybody else? Because I was a felon after that point. So the government ruined my life by telling me that I'm a felon because of growing marijuana, and it wasn't much, where now it's legal in many states and a misdemeanor in a lot of other states and being decriminalized. But does that wash my record away? No, I'm still a felon because that's what happened back then. So I'm forever a target for humanity because of my arrest record. How is that humane? So it's like, but people say, well, you've never been persecuted. You don't know what it's like. Oh, screw you. That's my answer. And, double birds and all this other kind of stuff. Hell yes, I've been persecuted. And black folks want to say, well, you haven't been persecuted. Well, listen, when you have graduated almost with honors, as I did, when I went back to school, technical school, I had very high grades, very high honors. But because I was a felon, I couldn't get a job as an engineer. And only by lying on an application was I able to get a job for 7.5 years. But as soon as they found out, they said, well, see ya. We wouldn't have hired you had we known. So, but anyway, I've had my class 1 for 45 years. Retired. US of A is the prison capital. Yep. Joyce, they say hi. So hi, Joyce. But anyway, so not trying to make this a long video. And I think I've made my point several times in that it's not just this one. Well, they're changing the names. Yeah. But what are they really changing? They're trying to change the future of humanity into something else. They want to turn us, get this, into chimera. What does that mean? Look it up. So they want to mingle two species together to make a single. So their idea by changing the rules, laws, the designations, that we as a human species will turn into this melting pot, a chimera type people. Okay. They will have created, without taking us to the test tubes, a an animal that's different from male and female. So just like dogs, and if somebody's saying, "Oh, this is a good idea," so you want to be labeled like a corky, or a Boston Terrier, or or a Georgia Bulldog. Oh, wait a minute, or Duggar's is sort of a difference, but you want to be a bird dog, which he probably is. Boy, does he track well. Doesn't listen to me for the shit. He's a good tracker. But so we have become like animals. And whoever's looking down at the zoo down here going, "Oh, we're going to call those people transgender, and those people over there are going to be the L's, and there's going to be the G's, and there's going to be the LBTGs, and those are going to be the wait." How many more names can we come up with for these crazy people down here? Because they seem to want to accept it. What? And me and my folks are going, where is the wisdom in this? And they might change it. They might change it on paper, but how many of us are really going to go by it? So, but if they say, well, you're going to get a $50 fine if you use the word mother around a bunch of, um, um, non-penis people. Well, wait a minute. But if you had a penis attached, or, oh crap, where do we go with this? So they're gonna, they once they make the rules, then they can set up how they're going to fine us, or how they're going to, delete us, or how they're going to whatever. Okay, if you insist. But I've already made up my mind. So a lot of other people have made up their mind. So I think we should just make sure that we ask people with this, where is the wisdom in these changes? Well, it's to include everybody. Okay, there's that other box. Let them write in whatever they want to. We don't care. Okay. Oh, but we have to. Why do you're coming up with categories? I don't think people even dreamed of being in a category. Okay. LGBTQ, whatever. And there are some folks in there that don't like the idea that there are other people within the LGBT, because other people have decided to add people to their, like they don't really like the idea that, a man cross-dressing is part of the LGBT. Wait a minute, hang on. What did you just say? Yeah. There are the lesbian gay communities that are going, no, I'm gay. These people aren't. They should not be in our category. Oh, but they got lumped in there. So there are people within their own communities who are not satisfied with this. They're not happy. So again, where's the wisdom in the changes? Now we could say, well, who's trying to do it? Let's not worry about who's trying to do it. Let's say no to it, period. And we spread that around and go, I'm sorry, I do not consent to this craziness, because there is no wisdom in the changes. That's our defense. Simply, but you people are old, you're not using women. So the people who are trying to pass this are using their wisdom. Let's show a raise. Isn't this supposed to be a democracy? At least, of course it's fixed. But can we all raise our hands at who's against this? Now, there might be people sitting in a room somewhere making these decisions, but we, the people, are still supposed to be able to say no to this. And if we don't, then tough luck for us. We have just agreed to live in a society that agrees that we should be Sodom and Gomorrah and Rome. And the Greeks, they had their thing, but the Romans, oh my God, right? So Um, is it perverse? It's unnatural. We are no longer human beings. We are crossing into the transhumanism. They're coming up with new labels for us that we must accept, regardless of the wisdom of the last 4 or 5 thousand years. It's been going along pretty good with three particular classes, and wait a minute, what do you mean three? Women, men, and other. If you fit in the other category, that's okay. But you could be a man who likes to dress up as a woman, but you're not gay. I don't care. And a lot of other people don't care. But when you go to a kindergarten with a man dressed up as a woman talking about how fun it is to be gay, that's wrong. I'm sorry, it's just wrong. Wait till they're 18 and let them decide. Period. There's enough gayism and lesbianism and men kissing men and women kissing women on television and so forth and commercials. I can't see if there's commercials and it's like, wait a minute, there used to be a husband and wife. No, now there are two wives or two. I don't know which one's the husband. But anyway, they're two. I can't call them women. There are two. Wait a minute. Crap. What do I call these people? But so, they're showing on all these commercials on kids' television, by the way, that it's okay if you don't have a daddy. It's all right. You're accepted. You don't have a daddy. No, you got two mamas. Or you got two dads. Wait, can't call them dads anymore. Getting a brain chip might be the best thing for some of these people because they already have been programmed through the commercials. I'm all for acceptance. That's not my point. But what the normal family used to look like is two women or two men, and that's the new norm. But not everybody. There aren't two men and two women living together around here. So you would say, well, that's not normal. Well, it is for New York or someplace else. Okay, fine. But not to say we don't have gay folks down here. We do, men and women. That's not the point. But to tell me that it's the natural, that this is what's natural now, is two women or two men, that is what is the new norm. I got to say no. I have to say, nope, sorry. Those two women could not make a child. Those two men can't make a child. Period. So until you fix that to where men can have babies and women can have a penis to infiltrate another whatever with their, DNA, then I'm sorry. It's women, men, and other, with full recognitions of what the other might mean. So anyway, that's my 10 cents. And hi, Michelle. Hi, how are you? U of A is yeah. Why? What? Yeah, my daughter down in around Pensacola, Florida, said they already knew. They already know of two people within their folks that they know, friends, neighbors, acquaintances, that have died quickly after within a few days or a week after receiving the vax. So Delaney says the SWAT team served a child support warrant on me with 30 SWAT and 5 dogs. Yeah, I mean, I got busted with barely over an ounce of marijuana and growing in my backyard. And they had a Huey helicopter with 2 pilots and a lookout and a person with a gun, a high, you know, a high caliber rifle with a scope. And so I was fined. My sentence was given, and the governor was severely pissed when he found that they had spent all that time with a Huey and all that. I mean, keeping a chopper in the air, look for an old hippie with an ounce of weed is not necessarily big news. You know what I mean? So, and from what I understand, they quit flying so much anyway. But anyway, whether you get tracked or not, they know where we are. Most folks won't turn their freaking cell phones off, so they know where. Um, I say we. I don't go anywhere anymore, so they pretty much know I'm here at the house. Uh, but the idea that everywhere people go that have a cell phone, they take it with them, so they think, well, nobody's watching me. Bullshit. Pay attention. I did a search a couple of weeks ago about something, and I had to spell the whole word out in the search bar. Today, I looked for the same thing. I typed 3 letters and it remembered and put it first. Now, those 3 letters could have been anything, but it remembered, maybe because it was looking at me, who knows, and said, oh, you want this? We're going to put this up. They were right. The computer was right. But you have to scratch your head and go, how did the computer know that those 3 letters was the first thing on my mind? And that's what I wanted to go visit. So by clicking on it first, because it popped up, now the computer knows the next time I use those 3 letters, the chances are highly likely that's the website I want to go to. And they probably would be correct, but that's not my point. They know where I'm going. They're anticipating it because of my previous history, so forth. So anyway, people don't think, they're not watching. Oh, get a grip. So, but I say, let us keep. Oh crap! This computer has gotten really strange recently. Um, just come near the touchpad and it goes wonky. But anyway, Duggar's over there asleep on the bed right now. Every time I want to take him outside, it's rainy and cold, and he gets to the door and goes and backs away. So, but anyway, we did take a walk though. Doug says when the virus first came out and they had locked down in place, the news was telling us who was moving around the most. Yep, they tracked cell phones and sent this parish is not listening. Yep, I agree. Yep, I absolutely. And there are folks who want to stay connected with a Bluetooth next to their brain. And I've talked about this before, and I think those people have lost their minds, literally, because they're sticking radio waves right next to their head. And as I've said before, the walkie-talkies I have say, don't put this in your shirt pocket, put it on your belt. And even that is, don't wear it all the time because of the radio frequency. It's a transmitter and a receiver. And as a transmitter, it will harm you. But people, cell phones, walk around, they keep them on them all the time. They lay them next to the bed. They sleep with their cell phone next to them. And I'm quite frankly, I think these people have gone whacked because of the frequencies and so forth that's being emitted by the receiver and the transmitter, because it's pinging all the time. It's letting Google and everybody know where you are. It's pinging. So you think, well, I got it in sleep mode. It's still pinging. It's still transmitting and receiving. It is still working. Idiot, turn it off completely and then put it in another room if you want to have any sanity. Whoever called you, now if it's an emergency, that's why I have a landline. But anyway, because I didn't want to sleep with a phone near my head all the time, and even this telephone here is a receiver and a transmitter, but I have to pick it up to do it. But it's got an antenna, it's got a base. So when the phone rings, I can walk around the yard with it. Duh. I'm putting it up to, no, I don't put it up to my ear. I put it on voice, talk, open, because I'm not putting the radio next to my head all the time. Ain't going to do it. So, I'm already nutty as can be, so I don't need radio frequencies to interfere with me. But other people are not aware of that, and they're saying, "Oh, nobody's controlling me." Yeah, I still ask the same question to some of these people. Can you turn your phone off for the night? No. Can you turn it off for a few hours? No. Well, I'll put it on sleep mode. I'll put it in airplane. But you won't turn it off. No, somebody might call me. Well, okay. Or somebody might. Yes, somebody might. So just in case, you're going to subject yourself to constant radio waves near or next to your head or body and your person, but you're not being controlled. Okay. That's all I got to say on that matter. You're not being controlled. Nope. I can put it down anytime. Okay, do it. Up to this point, nobody has really said that. I think the lockdowns are for two reasons: for COVID, and they're clearing underground dumps. They're doing a lot of other stuff too. Because see, I'm here at the house, so I'm not out in the woods. Well, I am, but so because I have my Wi-Fi on and I'm here at the house more than not, I don't get a chance to get away from it. Now I turn it off once in a while, but even I'm guilty of not turning my Wi-Fi off. Oh well, I fell asleep and it was on while I was sleeping. Okay, fine. But here's the thing: I've been seriously considering putting my new modem on a timer. Um, because whatever it has, it's got more frequencies or whatever. And so, but anyway, um, well, Project Skyfall, you say the light always wins. At the moment, there would be a lot of us who are scratching our heads going, so all this winning, but there's a shitload of darkness around. How come all these other things can happen when the good guys are supposed to be winning this battle? Sometimes in the war, you have to lose some battles. And I'm saying right now, there's some battles being lost on both sides. Okay. Not to be a stick in the mud, but it'd be easy to do because it's raining outside I'm hoping and still praying that the light's going to shine on some of this darkness. But it may be really cloudy for a while, like it's been down here in South Georgia for the last 3 weeks. We had 2 or 3 days of good sun. It was nice. That's when I poured concrete. And the porch is looking better. So, my friends, I'm going to leave it at that and say just think about the wisdom of things and whether or not, well, I think this is a really good idea. But hang on. Future changes. What does this do for 10 years? Look at the last 20 years and think, wait a minute, is this change actually necessary? In my lifetime, no. I've seen the progression and how open the others are in this, and I'm good with it. But they've reached a point where others must be the only thing available. And I say, nah, I'm still a guy. I'm still a heterosexual, and I'm still 68 and a half years old. I was still born a male. Now they want to oh, crap. It's gotten nuts. Let's bring some of our own wisdom into this game and tell them what we feel. But we can't be cussing and pointing our finger. We got to say, I think this is an unwise situation. And I'm not voting for you. And if you want to continue on this, me and my friends are not going to vote for you. We're not going to support you. We're going to continue to speak badly about you. If you vote for that bill, you make it a law, and you want us to support you, yeah, the support might be hanging from a tree somewhere, because that's what they did in the old days when politicians wouldn't listen. So I'm not advocating that, but there are people with that kind of attitude are going, you want my daughter to accept a man into the what? Oh, and the women are pissed too. And don't mess with these southern women. They have guns and know how to use them. So I love you all. My hat's off to you. I'm going to see if I can get something and still dripping rain and cold outside down here in South Georgia, but we try to take advantage of things when we can. So, my friends, be sweet, be kind, you know, and for God's sakes, try to use a little bit of wisdom in some of these things. And when, do you know anybody that thinks all these changes are a good idea? Then ask them, say, well, my gay friends, do you think this was a good idea? Not really. Well, then speak up. If you're a lesbian and you think this is a bad idea, then tell people. Don't just say, well, I don't know, I don't really want to get involved. But you wanted to get involved when you wanted people to accept you as a lesbian. So now shouldn't you stand up and go, wait a minute, the rest of this stuff is stupid. Changes versus stupidity. Okay, we've had the changes. We're still changing. But it doesn't mean we have to be stupid about it. So, okay, an hour and 20 minutes. Smoke if you got them. Oh, I missed the 420. Dang it. I love you, my friends. Yeah, 333. I got 433. But anyway, time zone. Ed, thank you. Yeah, I'm ready for some good news too, don't you know? All these folks saying, well, the plan's still in effect. The good guys are still winning. You're going blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. Then how come they're trying to pass this law? Then how come this has gotten as far as it has? How, gotta ask the question, how come, but I can put my stake in now by this video and my position on it. I'm all for other folks' and other points of view. But to make this change, these changes are absolutely ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's stupidity, times in the little quotient bar up there, cubed, put a 10 in there, But so, my friends, have a great day. I love you all as well. Some kings and queens got to get their heads chopped off. Yeah. And you know what? To that project, they're not even kings and queens. They're self-proclaimed kings and queens. They're not actually kings and queens. But them folks need to go too. And if you think about the word queen for a second, let me leave it at that, okay? But there are some queens who should have their heads chopped off for trying to make us all believe that we should be exactly like them. That we should become more diverse. Well, I have to put up with your shit. Then, haven't I already accepted you and your stuff? But anyway, don't get me started again. Amanda, hugs, project, stay strong. Absolutely. And the wisdom of this discussion and not in cursing these people out, okay? Don't go around and go, fuck you, and piss, among friends, okay. But if you're having this discussion with someone, we have to use our wisdom in the conversation to go, do you really think this is right for humanity? Do you really think that the last 4,000 or 5,000 years of men, women, and others is like inadequate? Do you feel that we should allow children who can't smoke, drink, or drive cars to make a sex change? Do you really think this is a good idea? Maybe those, and then those say, yeah, I got a 3-year-old. He wants to be a woman. He, get it? Why? Because he's got a ding ding. Well, he's got a ding, but he wants to be a woman. So, okay, send him to the hospital, chop that bitch off right now, and turn him into a woman before he has a chance to change his mind. Ask him if that's really what they want to do. Or wait, well, your girl is dressing up in men's clothes. Do you want him to plug that hole up and put a penis on her? Well, what do you mean? Well, you said you wanted her that, she's 4 years old. So let's do it now before they get too old. Let them get accustomed to not having a vagina, but having a PP. Well, or, not having a ding ding and, getting used to a hole there. But are you going to be able to have kids? No. So it's all going to be fake. Well, let's think about this. If they change men into women and women into men, they cut down the population of the planet. Can't make babies that way. Oh, so if men are doing men and women are doing women, then the population is going to decline. Think about it. What would be their reason to turn us all into this jellified whatever? Population control. If two if two women can have a kid, where are the guys? Well, we've got sperm stored up and we've got these injections and you know, I say the future of the human race is in sore need of some changes. And the changes are to take back some of the stupidity that they've always that they have already put upon us. Just that's the change. Just take it back. We see where you're going with this. We don't agree. Just take it back. Yeah, I'll fight you if you really want to, but take it back. We're not going to lop your all's heads off like like in England. Let them, I'm sorry, ants, let them eat cake, let them eat strawberry pudding. But anyway, Whispering Winds, end of the verse is 2030. New World Order says no more births after that. I would have a tendency to agree with you. Because with the Agenda 2021 and the Agenda 2030 and the Agenda, yeah, they want us all to be out of here, and so if they can't wipe us out, we just won't make any more, or we'll make what they want us to make, which are going to be some kind of transhumanized, some kind of something we don't know where they came from kind of thing. We'll send you up to a spaceship with a bunch of lizards, and when you get back, you'll have a child, Or you want a baby? Okay, we'll put one in there. But it's going to be our baby. It will be a chimera. So, but I think that's what they're already trying to do to us. Pod people, absolutely. Back when I was a kid, back in the '60s and all, I'm trying to remember the name of but it was Pod People. I can't remember the movie, but there people were disappearing, and all of a sudden, they would wake up and it wasn't the same person, and it was the pods, but they called it something else. Yeah, like narcissist. Yep, Michelle. Some friends will deceive people for their own advancement. Oh, absolutely. And they will take what you have done and call it their own in a heartbeat. Thank you, Michelle. You're so good at that. Hugs, my dear. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's the one. And they go over, and the pod was there, and the thingy, and they went over down to somebody was playing anyway. But if we don't think we're having our bodies snatched and our call it cloning, okay. But what's interesting is what they claim is for the future. What they think the changes are for the future for us. They're making these decisions for me and you. And I got to call what I see it, and it's stupid. I could use a lot of other words, but let's just stick with stupidity. Because to the rest of us, it's stupid. It's gross. It's this. Yeah, okay. Let's stick with stupid. you know, not aware of it. Yeah, Michelle says, I saw that one as a kid at the drive-in, the original. I was officially freaked out. Yep. I agree. I probably saw it at the drive-in as well. Yes, Amanda says there are Nick reports and interviews about um, detransitioning from people that have been trans for decades. Yep, there are several folks that have wished that they had their dings back. That for whatever it was at the time, they thought it was a good idea. And I did things 20 years ago that I thought was a good idea, but 20 years later, I look back and go, that was stupid on my part. So, but if you make the changes before you realize your own stupidity, you're stuck with it. And so I hope that this discussion is, and it's not just about the sex thing, but you got to wonder. But it's a lot of these changes. You got to ask, are they using any wisdom with this? Or is it, well, we're going to change everything green? You can't. Oil exists in nature. There are the La Brea tar pits, for crying out loud. Oh yeah, but the giant dinosaurs made the tar and made the oil. Oh, forget about it. How do you think they got stuck in the tar pits? Because there was oil and tar to capture the dinosaurs, dummies. But anyway, oh my God, how they have kind of dropped off that dinosaurs created oil. And they refused to tell people, although the Russians knew about this a long time ago. They realized that if they only pumped at 50% of their wells and just shut the wells off for a little while, for a couple of months or whatever, they would go back to the same wells and crank them up again and find out there was actually more oil back in the same hole. And they were like, what? The Russians have known about this for a long time. So that if you pump it out, that something is going to come back up and refill that cavity. And guess what comes back in? Oil. Oil is a lubricant for the whole freaking planet. Anyway. So we have to stop and think about this. Should we regulate it? Should we conserve? Absolutely. But should we shut it all down for the sake of what people think is a wise decision? To let's all freeze to death when our windmills and our solar panels get covered with a foot of snow. Y'all just, well, there's not any wood because we won't allow it. And you can't burn coal because we've disallowed that. You can't do this. So guess what, everybody? Freeze to death. That's a good way to get rid of people. Flood them out, freeze them, Okay. And there's a lot of weird stuff about that storm in Texas kind of thing. And it wasn't just in Texas, but the idea, though, that we're going to continue to put up with this nonsense, can we get at the right people to stop it? Don't know. But we can damn sure voice our opinions. If they want to come down here and get my little nappy ass because I don't want to go with 51 Heinz flavors, no. It's female males, and I'm just giving you ladies a chance because I still think that women deserve to be treated as females, as a respect. But there are those women who've been, dirty cheating dogs, and it's hard to respect someone when they're a dirty cheating dog. Or when they disrespect humanity. Well, men, men are this and men are that. Well, you women can be bitches too, You poisoned the men. I was almost poisoned. I was being poisoned by my ex-wife, if she was my wife at the time. But as soon as she left and I quit eating her food, within a week I got better. And it was the food because I'd stopped eating her food a week before she left. But anyway, and then when I called her on it, she was gone. Come to think of it, within a week, she had packed up her stuff and had figured out a way to get out of here. But so, not all men are great catches, and not all women are, ooh, women's rights and everything. Yeah, but some of these women have taken it way beyond their rights. I have the right to steal from my husband, but I'm leaving him and I don't like him. And, I'm going to write a $2,000 check and charge it to his bank account when I know he doesn't have the money in there and he's going to be overdrawn. And, oh yeah, that's wisdom. Yeah, that's using your head. Yeah, that's being a respectful woman, you know. Oh, look at me. I'm the downtrodden. I'm a woman you're a woman that has taken advantage of every man you ever. Okay. It ain't just the men, my friends. Ladies can be nasty pieces of work. Doug, oil is green energy. Oil is from dinosaurs, right? So we are recycling the dinosaurs. Yeah. No Lexus. Yeah. I always got accused of sleeping with other women when I found out after I was divorced that they were the ones fooling around on me. So, um, Richard, how are you? She is a black widow. Yes. My last wife, I got a phone call, and this is the honest to God truth, from the assistant state attorney general from Austin, Texas, who called me to ask me about my wife. And I said, sorry, she ain't my wife no more. And he was like, well, good then. Can I talk to you about your ex wife? Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. She had this poor sucker thrown in jail in Texas. Didn't even know she had lived in Texas, but for supposedly um, um, have trying to do something with the daughter. Now, it was her way of getting away from him because I asked the daughter, and my wife at the time, she was like, are you looking at my daughter? And I was like, no. Well, yeah, she is a beautiful woman. What do you mean she's a beautiful? Okay, I can't make. Oh, she was weird that way. But looked at people's bodies that was chopped up into pieces or horrible accidents where people were smashed and smeared. She was a weird character. But she had this guy thrown in jail, and because they couldn't find her to make it was a bench warrant. This guy had to stay in jail from something that happened like 15 years ago. They couldn't get in touch with her to find out whether or not he should remain in jail or anything like that. So here was this guy, this poor guy, and they all were like, there's not enough evidence. But because they put out a warrant for him, they have to keep him in jail until the parties are reached and all that. So they were trying to find her. And I was like, I really don't know where she is, don't really care. But I did say the last I heard, she had moved to North Carolina. So, with that said, but here's this poor guy in Texas in jail because of my ex wife. And of course, she never mentioned it, never said she'd been to Texas or blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. So the money she stole from me and other people and things, oh my God. She opened up a credit card, and forged my name. It was nutso. That credit card company, American Express, still thinks they can get the money from me. And I'm saying, you send me the signed document and I'll show you my signature. And if you tell me that's my signature, okay, but it wasn't, obviously. uh, Bank of America reimbursed me for the $2,000 right away because they knew that wasn't my signature. They had it on record. So, and Bank of America, I faxed the Bank of America statement saying they knew that that was not my signature to the people at American Express, and they refused to accept it. And I was like, "That's your problem." I still didn't pay it. And there's, somewhere along the line with my credit line, they're still wanting to bitch and I can't get anything, but all my stuff's paid for. So what do I care? Do I need credit? It'd be nice to maybe get a different vehicle or something, but I don't need credit because in this world of, I have what I own legitimately, um, and I paid for it many times in cash or, with my hard earned proceeds that I own it. No bank, no credit card, no nothing. I don't owe anybody. And that's a damn good feeling. But at the same time, if I was to go and apply for credit, they'd go, well, you don't have any credit. I know because everything's paid off. Yeah, but we can't give you credit because you don't have any. Now, ain't that an oxymoron? They're the morons and I'm the oxy, I guess. But anyway, Richard, I hate to leave you, but I've been here for too long and I need to make some supper. But I love you all. If you need to, Richard, the spirits are yelling at me to do a card reading. But the last couple of days with pouring concrete and doing some very early spring cleaning, it's late fall cleaning maybe, but I've got a lot of stuff done around here. I can actually get in my office upstairs. I can actually go upstairs and get in my closets now without somebody else's belongings being there. Things have been toted off. Things have been cleaned. Things have been. It's a much needed improvement here at my house, and changes within myself. Yeah, you all have a wonderful afternoon. I love Pinky Promise. Yeah, Pinky Swear. Right. TTFN. You too, Delaney. Keep up the good work. And you keep telling folks, how you feel about some of this stuff, Delaney. I know you will, but tell them, well, no, all y'all, we need to say, hey, listen, my friends, we just don't agree with this. That's all. We have to stand up. Tell me about those black widows. If I start going down that path, I'll get severely upset. And I haven't had an ulcer in years, but I'm sure I could give myself one in just a few minutes talking about some of that. But anyway, I love you all. Super, super what? Super Scream. Oh, okay. Glad to hear from you, Richard. Blessing to you, my friends. I know sometimes I'm quiet and off the chain a little bit, but in this reality of understanding what's coming. Now, let me give you this at the end of an hour and 41 minutes, but a little bit of sort of an update upgrade. They're saying that this month of March, because of the number three, and like on the 3rd and the 6th and the 9th and then the 21st or something, that there are supposed to be energetic changes coming. Now we have been getting hit by a crap load of CMEs and space weather and stuff like that. It has really increased. So whether or not this actually corresponds numerically to the month of March, there are a lot of folks I've been listening for a while now who have been making these remarks that this month, not necessarily about the prez or things or stuff, but energetically, excuse me, I'm getting hiccups. Energetically speaking, we're in for some changes. Now, we've been told this for the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. The last 2 or 3 years, like, it's here, it's coming, hang on. Okay, I'm still waiting. Although the 1st of March was supposed to be the initiation, like 2012 was sort of initiation. It was the start. It wasn't the change, but it was the beginning of the change. I accept that because 2012 was when changes came in my direction and a lot of other people too, spiritually, so forth. But so yesterday and today, there are supposed to be these changes that we are already involved in that, that we're gonna have to tolerate it, I guess would be a way, because there's nothing we can actually do about it except be aware that some of these changes are going to make us think differently. We're maybe going to use a little wisdom, you know. Um, and a subject that they want me to talk about, not now, but is all knowledge is within us, you know, um, and the knowledge of the universe is we have it. We just need to accept it and receive it and understand it, So, but that's a subject for another day. But to wrap this up, though, we must use our wisdom. If you know that you got a bald tire, and that it may blow, you don't try to go to California on a bald tire. There are certain things, or you don't go over, a bed of nails or ride through glass, or you don't play with matches. Stick your hand in the fire, sweetie. Go ahead. No, I'm going to change. You can change your sex if you want to. And here's some matches to go along with it. Oh, don't forget the lighter fluid. Yeah, that just doesn't make sense, does it? There are many, my grandmother, God bless her soul, rest her soul, Grandma Raleigh, she would just be literally rolling over in her grave going, you want us to do what? So my grandparents, would be freaking. I know my aunt is, and she's in her 80s, mid 80s. So we have to stop and go, wait a minute. Is this the wisest decision for us in the future? And we just be polite and say, thank you very much, but no. And the people who want to make it the laws and so forth, we look at them and we say, thank you, but no, we do not consent. And if they pass it anyway, then maybe we need to get our pitchforks out and our torches and take care of the Frankenstein monster. Do you hear me? I rewatched the Frankenstein the other day, and I was like, oh, this is kind of creepy. He lived for 200 years later, and then he came back, and people are wanting to, you know, make the undead alive again or zombified or something. And he was like, no, you don't want to make more like me without people without souls, or no, no. So, in a lot of ways, they want to turn us into Frankensteins, in that we are this group of things. We're a Heinz 57, just like he was made up of different body parts. So, in watching I Frankenstein, I was watching some of this other stuff, and just looking at the headlines, and I was going, man, they're creating a social Frankenstein. And this social Frankenstein doesn't have a soul. Because a lot of these beings who are agreeing with this, if you understood about motherhood, if you've had a child, if you've been a father, if you've been a parent, you would know this is wrong. But there are people who have to accept this new thing. So I thought, in watching I Frankenstein the other day, I was like, I've seen this movie. Yeah, probably twice, but let me watch this sucker again. And again, same movie, third time, at least the second. Third time of watching this movie, I fell asleep one time. But I realized, oh my God, society has become Frankenstein. They are creating this monster. And it may be time for the villagers to grab their pitchforks and torches and just take down the monster. Y'all know what I mean. I love you all. Yeah, you saw it too. I've seen it before, but they were spirits are like, you need to watch this again. And I was like, no, watch it again. Okay. And then I got that I saw so many other different correlations to other things. So, it was just strange. It was just strange. Get out the holy water. The holy water douches. Now that's funny. Saint Martha, the Dominator, says holy water douches for everyone. Hey, and some of the men, wait, can't call them men, sorry, but they might need a good enema to clean their ass out. Whoop, I said ass. Well, are they going to rename that body part the hole you poop from? Okay, but what if you don't poop? Never mind. What a strange world we live in, my friends. It took me 30 minutes to try to say thank you and I love you and good luck with tomorrow. Starting with men. I don't know. I got a few women that should, see, but from a man's point of view, having been married so many times and having had all these women shit on me every time, almost literally, I gotta say there's some women that need to have that, and starting with a family member or two that I know with their heads up their butts or other holes, orifices. Can we call them an orifice? But the idea, though, that some of these folks need, if holy water is what's needed, we need to like bless it a million times. Of course, a priest blessing holy water is like, hey, let's all piss in the swimming pool anyway. But the idea of holy water, Richard, I think if we all brainwash daily, yes, I avoid the news. Yep. Government officials are mostly actors also. Agreed. So, but, as an actor, I have played some really nasty people. I mean, seriously, nasty people. uh, we did the Laramie Project, and some of the characters I portrayed were really, really nasty people, you know, against gays. And I'm trying to Fred something anyway. Used to go to all the, you know, if there was a a gay airman or, you know, a military person that was gay that was being, you know, they would show up, and anyway, I had to be that guy. And oh my God, how hard it was to even think about what his character was. And to, you know, oh my God, it was horrible. So my point to this is, though, if they must, if they're as actors, that they must portray this. In my reality, I could only play it for a short time because that character would literally eat my insides out. So these people who are the actors must somehow agree with it. Otherwise, their conscience would bother them and they wouldn't be able to play the character. So either they believe it, they've been brainwashed to believe it, but any functioning conscious human being would go, no, this is just wrong. But there again, where is our wisdom? Where is our collective energy over the thousands of years? Where is planet Earth in all this, right? Good night, all. Ciao for now. Thank you, Ian. Love to see you. Shaman's blessings. Water is super powerful. I understand. I was thinking of priests doing it. Hawkeye, go dip your finger in the river and bless the water. Yes, I need to. I blessed it in the backyard. I take the news, tiny amounts of, yes, absolutely. I just skim the headlines. And if I got to know more, the spirits will tap me, go, you need to find out a little bit more about this subject, as much as it grieves me to do so. But anyway, we have to know what the enemy's up to. I'm a I'm a klutz in the kitchen. Just don't cut yourself. Burning yourself, neither. That just hurts. Keep some aloe around. My friends, I love you. After almost 2 hours, and this was going to be a 45-minute video too, right? So I love you all. Be safe, stay well, stay warm, stay dry if you can. I mean, we've gotten several inches of rain here, and the river was almost at 9 feet, which is high still, but it was at 16 and a half feet for 4 or 5 days, so which is a foot and a half over flood. So we've got a crap load of water still down here. And all the water here in South Georgia is all ending up in Florida. And they've got flood warnings up along the Swanee River. At all okay. Any river that's going south that hits the Swanee, it's really messing up the Swanee. So, and from point south on the Swanee. So there's all this water, excuse me, has to go somewhere. And Florida's it. Most, well, yeah, even the Apalachicola River goes and flows through Florida to get to the ocean. Same thing with the Ochlockonee River in my backyard. It's got to go through the Panhandle to get down there to Ochlockonee Bay. So, and several places along the Ochlockonee River are flooded, and all points downstream from the Ochlockonee River in Florida. And Bluntstown, they were flooded. So lots of places here in, well, I say here in the South, but in Florida, you know, there's still water standing in my backyard, but it wasn't flowing like it was last week. Although there's 2.5, 3 inches of rain we're getting right now, who knows, the river could come back up really easy because there's so much water still downstream from me. Where's this water going to go? But anyway, so there's a lot of flooding going on. There's a lot of extra water, but it is helping to fill the aquifers back up. It is recharging the ground here. So, you know, and folks need to be careful with, you know, that those flash floods because, good night, Richard. Blessings, everybody. Yep. Time for me to shut up. But anyway, the current news is keep an eye on March. There's supposed to be some energy changes. So let's keep our fingers crossed and keep a positive attitude. So Delaney and all y'all, Amanda, Michelle, Doug, Robert, Project Skyfalls, and everybody up, Elderberry, I almost missed you. Take the new. Yep. I read that one. All right. So be safe, everybody. Till next time. Um, Robert V contacted me and wanted to do another storytelling night, um, Native American storytelling kind of thing on Milky Way Soul Tribe. So look for that in the next couple of days if we can work our schedules out. So continued love and prayers. I honestly mean that. So wherever you're at, deal with it. Understand that change is inevitable, but we don't have, I have to accept the river coming up, but I don't have to accept the fact that I left my kayak down in the swamp and it went down river somewhere. There is something I can do when I know the water's coming up. I go get things, I turn them upside down. If a storm's coming, you pick up the lawn chairs. There are things that we do. Yes, a storm might be coming, but we can prepare and we can use our wisdom to keep things from getting any worse. So until next time, I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relatives and relations will continue to learn to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the universe. I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of those you may come in contact with, that you will continue to spread and will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. And in that law of three that's so important to me, I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you, your friends, all of your colleagues, and people that you may come in contact with, that you continue to learn to accept, receive, and to share that knowledge and the wisdom, the blessings, the knowledge, and the wisdom from the universe. Until next time, Amanda Michelle, cosmic hugs, everybody. Have a blessed day. And until next time, TTFN from South Georgia. And cheers, everybody. We love you.